Hi developers, my name is Łukasz and I'm a software engineer here at Blazity. Today I will show you a simple technique called streaming inside Next.js app router. This simple technique will optimize data fetching across your entire application and improve user perceived performance. So without further ado, let's jump straight into an example blog application. So welcome to Suspenseful Blog, a simple blog application that just shows a couple of articles we have. You might ask, what's the problem here, right? Like, it all looks pretty normal. It does, but let's try going into one article. And I say, let's go read about streaming in Next.js, as it's the topic of this video anyway. So I clicked it, and now I'm waiting. I waited a couple of seconds before it loaded, right? So what's happening here is the content is being fetched by a couple of promises. It's not very performant, it doesn't look great. So what you might have seen also is that the featured article took some additional second to load, but it didn't block the page. It showed a nice skeleton loader. So what was that? That was streaming, exactly what we're gonna talk about. So I will show you how we can go from this to use streaming and go to a nice user experience. Let's get started. So first, let's have a look at the traditional approach. Here, the code is really simple. We have a simple React server component that fetches the data for the given Slack. Then we either display 404 or we render the nice looking UI. Nothing fancy here, but we have to wait for all the data to load. So how can we improve on that? Let's enter streaming. This page, this version, uses suspense to display the fallback first and then wait for the data to load in the components themselves. So we don't fetch the data entirely first, but we use simple components to fetch the metadata, fetch the content and related articles all by themselves. So what's being done here is that we first render the fallback, as I mentioned, and then after the data is here, we render the article metadata, we render article content or the related articles. So the time to interaction with our page is much faster. So welcome to Suspenseful Blog again. Here, this one is looking almost exactly the same as the previous one, but it works differently under the hood. So let's try going into one article and see what happens. I'm clicking at streaming in Next.js again and try to guess. The page is here instantly. So this is streaming in action. We first load each suspense fallback, and then we stream in the components when the data is here. So you have seen how the metadata, such as title and description, went in first, then we had the content, and then related articles. This is exactly why streaming is nice, because it improves the perceived user performance, the user experience, the data fetching. This is exactly what streaming is in Next.js app router. And that was just a glimpse into how streaming can transform your Next.js application's performance. For a deep dive into all things Next.js optimization, including image handling, third-party scripts, and rendering strategies, download our full ebook, The Expert Guide to Next.js Performance Optimization, linked in the description below. Thank you for watching.